I think it's our journey and process to create these spaces and answer problems and, create spaces that these moments in life can happen. I always sort of talk about like a kitchen, you might get engaged there or you might break up with someone. These spaces kind of hold memories. So I think, it's our job as a designer or an architect to create these spaces.
It's one thing to understand it when you practice it and when you're in the practice, but the general public or our potential clients may not understand it.
I think that's half the challenge. It's like we're trained in space. We're trained in how to create the flow of space, how to make the most of spatial constraints, and it's so subjective.
It's very easy for someone who's not trained to do a bathroom renovation or a kitchen renovation. But when we go in and say, kitchen's out the back, you should put it in the front room where the living room is. Then when it's done, they understand what I've brought to their project.
Compared to when I started working in architecture 25 years ago, people are much better informed and much more aware than they used to be of design and good design and the difference it can make. So I find that our clients come already quite educated.
What do you think are some of those things that design can bring? What are some of the transformative powers?
When doing commercial work, it's always a budget, and quite often it's always lowballed. And I always say, that's your budget, but triple that, and that's probably what we're going to end at. They'll always come back a year later and go, wow, we've made our money back tenfold, because you're creating an atmosphere and a space for people to engage in. It's sort of an extension of their brand.
We're not just working for a client, we're working for the community in general. Culturally we have to actually say that design is really important and we've got to make a better place than we found it.
Our ambitions get folded into a client's, but we're always cognizant of the city, and it becomes a third person in the dialogue, because we're always thinking about the city's responsibility, public domain, place.
There's that lovely quote by Eliel Saarinen about designing within a context. You design a chair in a room in a house in an environment in a city.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's very complex what architects and designers do. Is that part of the problem?
So we know that the building and renovation process is a fragmented, time-consuming and complex one. So ArchiPro is here to change that by simplifying the end-to-end building experience and really inspiring people to build architecturally designed homes. If we can do that, we know that we'll deliver on our mission, and that is to really empower people to build better spaces in which we experience life. If you are serious about your building project, engaging in a professional is the best way to deliver the key outcome for you. So ArchiPro allows professionals to showcase their portfolio in the way that best suits them, their brand, their vision, or their style, and then we directly connect them with a homeowner who's looking for an expert to help them out with their building project.
Clients will always come with preconceived ideas about how they want their space to be or want it to look like, but when you take them on your journey, then that allows them, I think, to feel far more comfortable and at ease.
We still draw. Hopefully,
what?
That's a
like
kind
with
of.
Your hand?
I know it's a dinosaur concept, but black and white, ink, paper, very raw, simple communication, and how that builds up, of course, is very powerful through the tools. But I think that immediacy, I think clients buy into that with any designer. It's like, okay, they're sitting here drawing in front of me.
When we did the Ace Hotel, we commissioned a watercolorist, and he's an architect, but he's just purely an illustrator. And him and I sat there at all hours of the morning just designing that, and it's just recently finished, and I've looked back at the watercolors and it nearly looks like exactly the same, but I was so conscious of doing renders because it's a heritage building and it would sort of start to lose its patina and context. But I think the ability to sit there and hand draw and come up with ideas, and formulate a space is far more enriching, I think.